Like, I've always had this on a wish list to work with Beyonce and do something with her. And this song to me seemed like the perfect tone and the perfect song for her to get on, because I feel like she would know what it's like to have to always one up your last project and things like that, and try to outdo yourself, and there's a level that people expect from her, and I thought she could relate to it. I don't think it's the first song I've written with this kind of sentiment. I've made other records that I think have been vulnerable and stuff, but this is probably the most stripped down that I've been as far as in a song. I think that I approach every album differently, and a lot of times it's just kind of, I write about what I'm feeling at that moment. So a lot of stuff is like, little time capsules of how I'm feeling, and sometimes it is, you see stuff you might not want to, but you see and you hear things, and you see what some people are saying and things like that. And that was one of those songs that I felt like I need to let this feeling out, because the chords were right, the chord progression, everything made sense to me. And it was, once I started writing it, it just kind of came out. When I'm writing a certain song, sometimes I have in mind the type of person that I'm talking to, and sometimes it'll be like, if it's about something, talking about adversity or whatever it is, like I feel like, okay, this is the kind of person I'm going to be speaking to with this type of sentiment, because these are the type of, this person's probably been through this. I picture, like, if it's a kid getting picked on or something in school, or, I usually try to get a picture of the audience that I'm talking to and who I'm trying to reach, as far as like type of person. It's definitely had an impact. The BET cipher that I did was one of those things where sometimes I get really flustered about what's happening, with our president back home. And sometimes I'm not even able to put it down in words, because I get too flustered and there's too many things I want to say. And then sometimes I need to just take a breath and step back from it a second, and then the thoughts will come to me. And I think everybody should have an anti-Trump song. Even if you're not from America, if you're not even in America, everyone should make an anti-Trump song, I believe. Well, Detroit hip hop, I think, still to this day, is, when I think about it, I think of it as raw, and I think of it as real. We Detroit had a huge battle scene, back in the late '90s, early 2000s, huge battle scene, and that spawned a lot of MCs from the hip hop shop that I used to rap at. And I think it's, the sound is, there's a slight transition. It's gone through evolutions, but I still feel like the basis of it is usually real talk and not sugarcoating shit. Yes. So much, in fact, that I will look up my own songs to remember if I said this word or not. Like, I don't know if anybody else does that, but I certainly do. I'm always trying to say something different from the last song, or try to make this song so much different than anything I've ever done before. And sometimes it can happen, and sometimes it doesn't, because, when you are first starting out as an artist, I believe this is probably true with any artist, when you're first starting out, you have this blank canvas and you start painting on it. And you're like, oh, I've got a red color here, and I've got and then you're running out of colors on the spectrum or space on the canvas. So it gets to a point where you've written about so many things and talked about so many things that you've run out of new space. There's no more new space left. You might have to start painting over your old paint, you know. So yeah, it's definitely that's kind of part of the challenge and kind of the fun of it too, is to, when I do that and I'm able to do that and say, okay, I don't have a song like this yet. I have not made one like this yet. That's when the fun comes in. I think the main thing that stays with me from during the time I was battling until now is the competitiveness. I'm super competitive. I always try to pay attention to what's out, see what everyone's doing, stay up on everything, and then try to figure out a way, okay, how can I do something like that, but do it like I would do it, you know? And I think it's just that my competitive edge and spirit has not left me. So that's kind of one of the things that drives me to still do it. It's weird for me to say legacy. I don't know if that's the right term, but when I am done, when I'm finished with rap, I think that when all is said and done, I feel like maybe, hopefully, I inspired some people, and they can take from, you know, what I've done, just like I was inspired by my heroes in rap, you know.